Good morning, friends. My name is Claire Reuter, and I'm happy to be here today after moving far away and coming back in person. But anyway, our purpose for this forum is to talk about Ilda Ramirez and her ASN, Austin Sanctuary Network PACE, and she is coming soon. And organizer Carmen will also be here. And behind me is Howard Hahi, and he's going to be translating as needed, and also after some moments of silence, filling us in, because he's also very involved with Austin Sanctuary Network. So he'll be filling us in on some of the current details of their case, which probably most of you are already familiar with. So if we can go ahead and start with just a couple moments of silence, please.
Thanks, Claire. I'll be brief because when Ilda and Carmen get here, they'll probably be covering some of this ground. But I thought I'd get us started and let them know that we've given them basics. So, as you probably all know, Ilda and Alirio have been in Sanctuary, with Austin Sanctuary Network. Alirio's been in the UU Church on Grover, and Hilda and her son Yvonne have been at St. Andrew's Presbyterian off of Wells Branch. And for, I forget how many years, I think 7 years, it's been a long time living there. And they have been in various legal statuses with regards to their deportation from ICE. Sometimes they've had what they call basically a stay of the deportation, and that those stays will, expire, and then they'll have to stay in the churches and not set foot outside them, and then they'll get renewed, and then they can go and they can work if they can get a work permit, of course. So the situation is that these things basically run from April to April is when they have those stays. So this was the month, and there's always a lot of apprehension around that. Even things like, can we use the same attorney? Can we afford an attorney? Can we have someone do pro bono? All of those things, and also, can we get people in Congress on our side? Castro from San Antonio has been very, very helpful. Some of the others that you'd think haven't been so helpful. I won't go into that. Just a few empty words and no actual pressure on ICE. But it looks like Castro was really helpful, and the lawyers were really helpful. And we were very apprehensive at the end of March, even into the beginning of April, because of some of the things ICE had said. Alidio's was coming up first, and then Ilda's. And Alidio had been told, without being given any reassurance if it was going to show up at the ICE offices, that's always a red flag. And so when he does, we always try to get a bunch of people to go with them so they can't just, snatch them. However, at the last moment, Alidio got his extension, and Ilda now found out a week or so after that she got her extension. So we're all quite relieved. Some of you will recall Hilda Lirio and Carmen, the organizer, were here back in December and kind of gave us the lowdown on their cases and a little bit of general idea about the immigrant experience. And then you all remember we also had letters that we wrote for Hilda and Lirio to ICE on their behalf. Those are probably very helpful. I don't know that you can never tell, but I think they were helpful. Now, along with that, okay, so we've got Hilda's son, Ivan, who came with her. And when he was a little boy, when he came, now he's 16.
I thought he was 17.
Maybe even 17. He's of course, now trilingual, Spanish, English, and Hilda's native language is Hmong, which is one of the Mayan languages of Central America. And he's plays guitar really well, very bright, articulate young man. So we got high hopes for him. And he actually his case was separate from his mother's. So Ivan has residency. Okay, and a work permit, so he's good to go. Hilda and Lirio are still year to year, getting the extended deferment for a year on their deportation orders. Although they can get work permits, the work permits are not timed at the same. So the work permits are up in the fall. And they'll have to get those renewed. But Lirio's been able to work. Hilda's been able to work with small children, a job she really loves. I'm not sure I should go into anything more because I think they'll be talking about some of that. But that's kind of where their cases are at the moment. And Austin Sanctuary Network is always looking for support. I can give you more information on that over Carmen when she gets here. I can give you more information on that. So if there are any real general questions, I might be able to answer them. Yeah.
Are there others besides the three of them in Sanctuary in the Austin area?
I think there are others in a sanctuary, but not with Austin Sanctuary Network. And again, Carmen would know more about that. Maybe even Claire knows more about that. I'm sure there are. The ASN, especially Carmen, as an individual, works with other people who are. Oh, here's Carmen.
Yeah.
Hola, Carmen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. Carmen, acabo de darles unas por encima de lo que han pasado en sus casos. Y no creo que vayamos a usar porque hay gente que está escuchando en línea. Entonces, si puede ser la interpretación pues consecutiva, pero cuando hable en inglés yo puedo estar acá y hablarles en voz baja para que entiendan.
¿Puedo hacerlo en mi inglés para no perder
Sí, sí, por favor. Sí. Yo creo que en tu propia voz sería muy...
Si no me entiendes, ¿le puedes decir qué quisiste decir?
Sí, tú te haces entender perfectamente.
Okay.
So Carmen is going to speak to us in English, which I think it's important to hear her own English.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you.
We are recording. Is that okay? We are recording.
Que están grabando, que está bien contigo.
We are okay. I'll just say a few words and then continue. So the purpose of this forum was to reintroduce our good friend Hilda Ramirez and organizer Carmen. And we are so happy with recent good news about Hilda's, is it a stay?
Stay.
For one more year. And a couple minutes ago, Howard filled us in with some of those details. And we're going to start at this point, if it's okay with you all, to see if there are any more questions about the current takes for Ilda and Alidio and Ilda's son, Ivan. And
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry to be here late. I on my brain, I supposed to be here at 11, but anyways, I'm late. My name is Carmen Subieta. I'm an immigrant, and I am part of these immigrants who leave the deportation family. And my husband, we got a case with my husband for in the 2013, and we 2008. We started in the 2008, and then the immigration deport him. And after we dealing with the courts and all that, they deport my husband in the 2013. And I'm still dealing with the immigration, and at the end, I bring back him in the 2017, 5 years later. This is something very good, but not all the cases resolved in these ways. Plus, when in a couple is completely difficult, live separate 5 years, with a lot of responsibility, with anxiety, with the kids, and with 2 kids, one special, with dealing special, she was diagnosed with diabetic type 1, who need insulin in that time, plus very deep depression. So it was very, very dark and difficult. But in the crisis, we need to relive. We need to renew ourselves. We don't know in that time. Later, when we see back, we discover it, we can do that. So as for this is my life still, or life. This is my life, how I want to live, help other ones to understand these cases. And as for this, I have empathy with any immigrant. And because I live like with no papers for 21 years, so I never see my parents and my sisters in all the time. So I have friends who's the one member of the family passed, and they never see again. We come in to give a better life for them, but at the same time, they lost the life. And yes, we give a better life, but we never see again. So it is very painful times. So I recognize I'm very privileged in this moment because I can move it in any ways I want. So this is my love or my empathy to work with these cases, to speak aloud and to move it around and talking about these pains. Hilda's case, you know Hilda for a long time. She is already 8 years in the church. During the Trump administrations, this is for real very difficult times, not only for her, but for the people who want to help her, because we don't have the ways to push him to try to fix or give a permit, because the administration work on him. And his focus was to control the illegal immigration. I use this word because he used that, but the right word is undocumented, because they are still human. They are not coming from other planet. We are not coming from other planet. We are humans. So it's for this I invite to use undocumented. So she passed all these times before Trump. She got a permit. During the Trump, she got a permit for 9 months. Before moving all the office, everything coming slowly to move it people in federal and then coming to the states and remove it. So that happened. She got a permit before everything happened. So, but then, remember she got a fine for, ¿la multa de cuánto fue? 400,000. Remember she got a fine for 400,000. Don't forget that. So it's like she don't have $10. She don't have $100 in her hands. And have a fine for $400,000? Who can pay? Nobody can pay, but it's part of the pushing to smashing our mental in the floor and talking to us, you can do it nothing because I don't let you. So this is part of the mental control, not only for her, but for the team too. And it's like tidy hands, and we can move it, right? Well, the blessing thing, or the important thing, people don't let it be scared by themselves. They are standing up and keeping up. At this point, one of the congressmen who's helped all this time is still helping, like Joaquin Castro. Is the person who's helped us to push in immigration, to give them permits. And at the same time, he pushing the immigration to give to Ivan, her son, to have the residence. But they keep pushing a little bit. It's a permit for 1 year. And Ivan, it's already freedom. He has the residence. In 5 years, he can be a citizen. But Hilda can walk in that way. Either Alirio, because the law only permit this time. The law don't permit more. So it's for this we pushing the representatives to do it something because it's the discretion of the peoples on immigration give them the permits. That discretion Trump take away for the peoples on the offices. But we do it together before Biden take office, when he made the platform for working, we put that again in the law. We push it today, put this in the law. And we push an alliance around to the country to vote for that. To the agenda, the immigration peoples can have the discretion to make decisions for peoples like Hilda, Alirio, and others. So we use the little spots or the little tapes. It's like for me, it's like you need to put a tape for holding something in there, or the tape, but it's no stay, it's no storage. In any moment, everything coming down and fell. This is our lives. This is the immigrants' lives. We can be sticking a little bit in some place, but in any moment, we can fail and everything is destroyed. Not only that, the cost for all of this is expensive. On immigration, you don't pay the percent of the bonds. You have to put 100% of the bond. If it is no less to 10,000, no less to 10,000. This is the cost of the bonds. Over to that, we can go in and through. We are here in 25,000. And it's a business. It's a business with humans. It's a human traffic under law.
Wow.
We cover that during work under the law. It's for this sentence make laws. Don't make justice. Make business. And you and your community, super important because you are an alliance for us. You are our support. First, because you have the power of the vote. And the first thing, you have the power of the color. I'm so sorry. This is very true. It's not the same thing when I call to the immigration. If you call the accent, the name, and the color make big difference. It is. Keeping on this and this work, try to help. Even have only 1 year, so we don't insane a little. We keep it working because remember she got a fine, so we sued the federal government with the New York lawyers university. From the university from New York, they help us to working with this suit. So we already have the suit and we're working on that. Probably soon can finish. Or we can go in into at the end. But she can have the residence even when she be tortured. She can have the residence. She don't going to have money. No. Probably she have temporary status. That's all they want to give. So, see, if we're thinking, oh, we sue the government, the people sue the government, and that's our money. No. It's important to see what they give. Remember the kids who was in cage? I working with the moms who was in jail during the Trump. Remember, he separated the kids from the moms, and the moms was in detention, and the kids sent to different ways. Some in New York, other ones in Amarillo, Texas, other in El Paso, different ways to make more torture for them. So I working with that moms, and I'm working with to find the kids, and with team, not only me, but a big team. We're working with all that with grassroots. And it was painful. Here the moms sometimes call me during the night and cry with me, say, I don't know where send my son, where send my kid, and they don't let me go. Other ones, they don't let me speak with him, or I'm speak. He called me because they let me call once a week. He cried and he told me, all that painful inside to them and frustration. Well, in that, some organization sued the government for all these kids still missing. It's around to I don't know how many right now, but it's a lot of kids still missing. The government don't know where they sent. Where going?
How could they not know?
This is a good question because they are not preparing for all this. They working with the stomach, not with the lungs, not protecting these little humans. This is the future. It's the future of our lives. The government say they don't going to recompense these parents and mothers and these kids. No money.
Yeah.
The Biden administration say that. So sometimes we vote Democrat, we vote Republican. That don't matter. We have to think in the poison is in the roots. And the government's roots. So the government is working with the oligarchies, with the money. They don't have volumes. When they be there, they already sell the volumes for other ones. So make change is very difficult. And we're going, make business with humans. This is very important to see it. Years before, the government had the control of the detention centers. Now, no. Now it's a big companies. The companies who's running candidates. Why? Because that candidates can keep in the business. So I want to let you know, thinking on this, and if you want to make question about this, I'm here. The thing most important to want to tell you, we need to make questions. All the questions we have to understand more. If I don't have, probably in the future, or we can try to ask him in other places. At least in the immigrants, this is the persons who can give more clear. Not the people, sometimes people write books. But in these shoes, and in the shoes, walking the immigrants, it's no letters, it's no histories. Pain in the body, pain in our brain, and love in our hearts. This is all I wanted to say to start, and then I'll be here to ask whatever you want.
Thank you for your beautiful words, as usual, Carmen, and giving us so much to think about and feel about. I'd like to just, at least for me, I would really benefit from a couple of moments again of silence. And then if people have questions about, like Carmen said, what she had to say, and if people have questions for Hilda and how she's doing, or if Hilda wants to speak, do you want to speak right now?
Pues, I'm very happy, and so, but it's 1 year more on stage here, so I work, I love my work, so yeah, thank you so much for having me and for much time, much years, and yeah,
I want to tell you something very quick. When she be here 8 years ago, she don't understand Spanish well. She don't speak Spanish well. She speak mom. At this point, she speak mom, she speak Spanish, and she speak English too. So see, I mean, how big change.
So I guess if we can go into some silence and maybe think about some experiences that we've had with, I'm going to use a term that I learned from somebody in the meeting house who is in Canada right now. They call their immigrants newcomers, which I think gives a very different impression. And I think that's a really important word and a way to term it. So anyway, I'm asking us to reflect on our own queries, perhaps, about what how encounters with newcomers have affected you, maybe changed your perception, and whatever you want to think about, of course, and whatever you want to share after a couple of moments of silence. Thank you.
I think this is the first time I've seen you without Ivan. And he's always been by your side. And when I first saw him, he was a young man. I don't know how old he was. How old was he when he came? Like 8?
16?
No.
17.
But yes, 8.
8 years old.
7.
17.
No, cuando vino.
Oh, tenía 7.
7. Right now.
1 year in detention and 1 year, a little bit 1 year in the Posada Esperanza. Yeah. En la iglesia en San Andrés tenía 9 años.
Cuando entraron en San Andrés.
Cuando entramos ya iba para sus 9 años.
And when they start live on San Andrew, he have 9 years old.
Yeah.
So now it's 17.
17.
17.
Yeah, 17.
7 years.
Yeah.
I think of your life here, and Ivan is growing up into a young man, and he's getting his own life. So he didn't show up today, and I think that's what that's normal, And I would expect he might want to sleep in, or might want to go to see a friend, and it's like, see you, Mom, now. And I think that's so healthy to see that yeah, it's hard. It's probably hard. But I think it sounds like a healthy growing, maturing. And to think about his two lives that could have been, yeah, the mirror of his life back in his home country and here. I wonder I'm sure you've thought about what if, we didn't come here and go through this. And so do you have any thoughts about the what if, question? And I mean, it's been hard here. It's not been a bowl of cherries here, but wondering.
Tu vida con Iván si te hubieras quedado en tu país.
Probablemente Iván no estuviera en la escuela.
Maybe Iván don't be in the school.
Probablemente sería muy difícil. A lo mejor no estuviera con él en vida.
Probably it was very difficult. Probably I'm not with him with life.
Yeah. So, no sé.
I don't know.
Sería muy difícil.
Probably very difficult.
Yeah.
When he speaks now, he speaks so confidently. He does. He's very articulate about his dreams and things like that. I know you're very proud of him and how he's growing. It's been wonderful to watch him.
Ya, estoy muy feliz, muy orgullosísima que está en la escuela y tiene sus papeles y es un buen muchacho.
He's very good kid. I'm very proud. I'm super proud about him. I'm very happy. He's in the school. He
speaks English.
He speaks English. He
speaks English and Spanish.
And mom.
A little bit.
He speaks mom too. So he speaks mom too, and he speaks a little bit mom in English and Spanish. For him.
Yeah.
So the next step for you, I came in a little bit late. So you got 1 year. You have 1 year, but what's the next thing in your case? You will go before the courts for a whole year?
I don't know. So
the next step in the case is wait for the resolution on the federal government and see how long the permits. It's for how long? This is the question. For how long she's going to have other permits after the federal resolve the suit? This is the question. And that not every permit coming with working permits. That coming with working permits. So that is important. So we see how long is the permits, and after that, we hope they want to close the case. And after that, probably she can live like whatever other undocumented peoples. Because with Hilda's case and Alirio case, or people who are in immigration already dealing with immigration, they have, soon they finish the permits, they have the protection order.
Mm-hmm.
Every single cases. So the question is when the immigrants coming in here and want to fix the status, and if they want to show immigration, say, I'm here, can you give me a permit? Yes, I give you a permit, but in 1 year you can have the protection order. If they don't see us, and they know we are here. But it's better to keep in us quietly. So don't say nothing, be scary, and don't ask for anything and any right. Mm-hmm. It's important. So this is what happened with her. The next step, I hope, is resolve the suit, federal suit, and then we see how long is the permits they going to offer. The end, after that, she's going to stay with the permits for this time, but after, when finish the permits, she don't have nothing. So it's more difficult to find a job. They force it, well, because that forced the people to buy a fake papers. And this is the other problem, right? Because if they find us with that, it's a federal, it's something federal, and it's very difficult. Felony. It's a felony, and it's very, very, very difficult to coming out from that.
Yeah.
So they push it to do that, but at the same time, we are in big trouble in case they find us. But we need to pay taxes, okay? Even when that fake paper, the government give us a number to pay taxes. Lucky you. So we left a lot of money. They say we take the money from the government. Big lie. Because we pay too much taxes and we don't have the right to recover nothing.
Taxation without representation.
Exactly. It's very hypocrisy. Because they don't give us social security number, right? They give us a number, they call it IT, to make the taxes. So they know we pay taxes with a federal number, no social security, but a federal number.
Joanna, did you have a question?
Oh, I have a bunch of questions. Okay, so I don't need them all answered, but these are the questions that came up for me. Hilda, when you first decided to take this big risk of leaving your home country and going to the United States, what did you anticipate? What did you think would be in the future? Okay, that's one question. And how did you get your job working with the little kids? And where is it? How do you get to work every day? There was some other question. Oh, okay. This is more for everybody. Our meeting sent a letter to the representative who covers the state legislative representative that covers our area, and I think also to the governor against House Bill 20, which would allow the creation of this essentially armed militia that could pick up undocumented people any place, anytime.
Or maybe suspect they're undocumented.
Right. And would be the people who were employed in this militia or whatever they're going to call it. If it goes through, hopefully it does not go through. There are a lot of people against. This is a big, long thing I'm saying. They are free from any kind of consequences of their bad actions. So people are really in danger. Okay, people meaning undocumented people are really in danger if this House Bill 20 goes through. So our meeting sent a letter as a group against this. But, okay, we know another person, Hilda, besides you, who is undocumented and is working and has kids. And she got passports for her kids US passports because they're US citizens. Not yet, but you look forward to Yvonne becoming a US citizen. Anticipate that. The reason this other woman got the passports for her kids is because if she gets deported, then her kids would be able to go and come back, go and come back. So this is a question, has this come up as a possibility for Yvonne in the future? Just this, I know I just said a whole lot, so whatever you feel like responding to.
And we have 3 or 4 minutes. But these are wonderful, important questions. And I don't know whether we should focus on whatever Ilda wants to respond. The first question was about how she's doing and how she got her job and how she gets to her job.
That's the problem. And what she was thinking when she left and how things would be when she.
Yes, and thank you. What she was thinking when she left the country, what her original country, and what her expectations were. So that was one question.
Okay. Dice que si puedes decirle ¿qué pensabas cuando tomaste el riesgo de venir de los Estados Unidos en tu país? ¿Qué pensabas?
So, prácticamente no pensaba en nada, solo actué en ese preciso momento porque estaba en mi vida en peligro y la vida de mi hijo, entonces yo actué en ese momento y no pensé en lo absoluto qué es lo que se me iban a detener o no.
They have problems to speak all of it.
So I was just acting in the moment. My life was in danger and my son's life in danger. So I wasn't thinking about what was going to happen, whether I was detained, whether I was going to be free. I just needed to get out of it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
De mi trabajo nunca me imaginé que iba a pasar. Si algún día iba yo a ser asistente de una maestra, nunca en mi vida pensé eso. Siempre he amado a los niños y cuando era niña siempre he querido ir a la escuela, que se siente estudiar y pues, no sé, la vida me dio una alegría.
So, and as far as my group goes, I never imagined in my life that I would actually be helping out a teacher in the classroom. I've always loved children. And I always, when I was a kid, I wanted to go to school. I really wanted to go to school. I just didn't. I wasn't able to. So this is something, this is like a dream of mine.
So, pues nada más le pido a Dios que siguen apoyándonos porque lamentablemente la lucha sigue y pues va a ser el cambio de presidente, no sé qué va a pasar en el futuro.
So I just ask God that we continue to get the support because it's still going to be a long fight and we don't know if the presidency changes in the future, what things are going to be like.
Mm-hmm.
Pues nada, por ahora estoy muy, muy feliz, gracias a Dios y que hay que hacer, me ayudaron mucho para poder tener otro año más de permiso.
And so I'm just really, really happy right now. I'm really thankful and glad that ASN and the support of other people has given me another year of a permit.
La iglesia.
And then all this meeting here.
Thank you so much, Ilda and Carmen and everyone for being here in person and on the screen. Very important questions, Joanna. And, I certainly hope that it's not the end of discussing them. And especially that question about the passport for the kids so that it protects the parent. I think we should look at as peace and social concerns and as a whole body. And I really And I'm impressed by Carmen pointing this picture of just hanging up this really heavy mat or sheet of paper and one little piece of tape at a time, and it doesn't hold everything. The incrementalism, I guess, is what really struck me. That just that image, it's so true in just the 8 little years that I've been involved, about how challenging that is. But I guess I'm going to ask for a couple of moments of silence, and then at 11 o'clock or whenever, right away, however people interpret it, we're going to go into our regular 11 o'clock workshop. So again, thank you everyone for being here.